I'm at Coachella. I just spent $43 on this little plate of nachos and this really big cup of lemonade with no ice in it. What'd you get?
I think I said this exact same thing last year, but I find most Coachella discourse to be absolutely insufferable because most of the time it's not really about anything interesting. Like, oh, the campground food is ridiculously overpriced, groundbreaking. Influencers took brand deals for problematic companies while looking like a sales rack fell on them after they paid $8,000 for a stylist. Yup, that happens every year. Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau are running around pretending to be college kids while Fox News clowns on them for using plastic straws. Admittedly, I've never heard that one before, but it sounds generally par for the course to me. I understand why Coachella frustrates people so much, more and more every year, because it is at the intersection of brand and capitalism and influencer culture and the lives of the ultra rich and famous, and those are things that continue to encroach on the space and will of normal people each and every day. When it comes to this side of things, the wisdom that I tried to impart last year was focus your frustration on systems, these big brand houses, and the sponsored influencers who take these ridiculous trips and live in these McMansions for the weekend. I think all of that is fine. I still think it is inappropriate to shit on normal people who maybe have never gone to Coachella before and they're like, I want to go camp with my friends in my car for the weekend. I've saved up money for it. Yes, it's expensive. This is how I choose to spend my funds. I kinda can't stand, and I think it's really cringy, when people just make a big deal out of the fact that they would never go to Coachella, it couldn't be them, they would never do it. Yes, because you're almost 30 years old. I say that as someone who also is almost 30 years old, and personally would never go to Coachella, but I'm not gonna shit on people who do. Individual people who make that choice with their money and their time. I think it's very counterproductive. Literally, who cares? I also still think Coachella can have some good moments come out of it, some culturally significant moments. For example, Cameron Winter and Geese playing the Shesterkin-Markstrom fight before their set. That's good stuff right there. Like, that's cinema, that's art. What I wanted to put the focus on today is that Coachella is one of these last big monoculture events that we have. And it seems to me like this year, the celebrity of it all is really what's taking center stage, quite literally. And of course, because pop culture doesn't exist in a vacuum, that means we have to talk about gender and politics and how we're perceiving those things in relation to these big pop culture moments. So let's unpack some of the controversies from weekend one of Coachella 2026. Canadian pop sensation Justin Bieber was reportedly paid nearly $10 million to headline Coachella this past weekend. And that makes sense, he's obviously in very high demand and has been for quite some time. But it's also safe to say that Justin's performing style has evolved a bit since the days of Baby and Never Say Never. Back at the Grammys this year, he performed a song stripped down, literally, in his underwear, but regardless of that, I don't think anyone expected him to get up on the Coachella stage and do what he did, which was look up some YouTube videos and do a karaoke to his old tracks. No backup dancers, no costumes, just a guy and his computer. I'm gonna be so for real. I like this performance. I thought it was good. I thought he sounded good. I thought it was funny. I thought it was different. And it made for like a big moment, but I also understand that perceiving this experience changes a bit based on the context in which you were talking about it. I also witnessed this on a computer screen in a vacuum. You know, I wasn't there, I wasn't in person perceiving it myself, and I understand that that might change the context of it as well. So let's talk a little bit about why this performance is rubbing people the wrong way. Let's start with the biggest talking point here. It is highly unlikely that any of Justin Bieber's contemporaries in the pop sphere, especially the women, would be able to get away with something like this. There is such a high standard for women in music to have outfit changes and elaborate sets and show-stopping numbers in a way that's just not expected of Justin Bieber or even someone like Harry Styles, who plays large crowds but sings with a band and isn't expected to fly around the stage, you know what I mean? That is for sure a double standard, and it becomes even worse to think about when you're comparing him directly to other artists who headlined Coachella this weekend, like Karol G, for example, who definitely got paid less but was expected to do way more. This is for sure a societal issue, a problem within stan culture as well, but it's not one that I can really blame Justin Bieber for. If I'm not directly comparing comparing him to the female artists who should be paid more for their labor, there's nothing that he himself actually did on stage that warrants me being mad about it. If it was advertised to be a full stage production and spectacle, and that's what people specifically paid to come see, I could maybe see that argument a bit more, but festival goers paid to see multiple acts on multiple days, and nobody had the expectation that he was going to come out and do this larger-than-life thing. Now, some people have said that maybe this was intentional, this was more of a poignant commentary on the music industry on Justin Bieber's part, and I'm not trying to insult his intelligence or anything like that. I personally think that he probably just feels more comfortable performing that way. I've covered Justin Bieber's career on this channel before. I think if you take into account the fact that he was a show business kid, and for a lot of his career, he had to do the whole full-on Usher style dancing with backup dancers and full production value. There is of course value in that style of a performance, and he was really good at it. But like, given what he has gone through over the years, I understand why he doesn't want to perform like that. Maybe there was more to it. Also, people were suggesting that it was like a Masters with Scooter Braun issue. I'm not really sure if that was confirmed in any way or can be confirmed really, like he couldn't play his songs with a full band, and so that's why he was just like recording, like looking up recordings and like singing to his own clips. I don't think so, but like, I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. Maybe there was more to it than him just wanting to be comfortable up there. Now let's talk about a story that's a bit more uncomfortable. Sabrina Carpenter.
Is that what you're doing? I don't like it. That's your culture, is yodeling? Is this Burning Man? What's going on? This is weird.
Unfortunately, I cannot play this clip from the Coachella livestream, so please settle for the fan-recorded version, but basically Sabrina entered a quieter part of her set. She was at the piano, and somebody in the crowd did what's called a zagruta, which is a spirited or celebratory chant in Arabic cultures. She replied with, "I don't like that," and the person says, "It's my culture," to which she remarks, "This is weird, and is this Burning Man?" Sabrina later apologized for this, saying, quote, "My apologies, I didn't see this person with my eyes and couldn't hear clearly. My reaction was pure confusion, sarcasm, and not ill-intended. Could have handled it better. Now I know what a zakruta is. I welcome all cheers and yodels from here on out." It's important to note here that the account she's quote tweeting is a notorious bad faith Twitter stan and not somebody who actually cares about whether or not she did was problematic or offensive, which is why I, admittedly, was very quick to defend her when this controversy initially happened. If you take what she's saying at face value, that she didn't see the person and seemed to be rather confused, I think her reaction and apology was okay. I think she probably thought it was a white person doing a "that's my culture" joke. Like, I really think she thought it was a white person doing some spontaneous yodeling. Holy shit, I'm so happy because I was about to describe a TikTok from a content creator that I watched that sort of changed my perspective, and like, I thought this person had a really good take, but I couldn't find their TikTok after I saw it, and I was like searching endlessly. I was like, white guy who talks about stuff, which could literally be anything on TikTok, so I was gonna just like describe what this person said, and then he popped up on my For You page again, and like, holy shit, I'm so happy that I could actually put what he said in the video. So I'm gonna play this creator's perspective now.
I don't think Sabrina Carpenter is a racist, but like, remove all of the context. Is there a single situation in which it's not offensive to side-eye someone and be like, "That's your culture"? I don't like it. This is the only thing that's gonna result from that. Like, now these weird-ass people are going to use you to push their shitty beliefs because you said something that aligns with what they say. I was under the impression that these were the most, like, PR-trained people in the world. I'm a fucking niche internet micro-celebrity, and I understand that every single thing I say or do will be taken out of context, clipped, put under the microscope. Like, I have to be very careful about my verbiage, about the way I phrase things, or else people are going to always put a negative spin on it. Like, if we remove all of the human and personal aspects from it, like, why would you say that to someone who loves your music and is clearly at your concert and doing that to support you? And we think entirely like PR brained. If you as a white celebrity hear someone in your crowd going, I'm Arab, this is part of my culture, you should know immediately, tread lightly, be as respectful as possible, because if you handle that situation negatively, you're going to get cooked.
So yeah, again, the argument here being whether or not this was a white person yodeling or an Arab person doing a sakruta, you'd think that Sabrina would be PR trained enough at this point to know that if she hears the words, that's my culture, she should probably steer clear of any harsh or judgmental language, even if that's her gut instinct because she was confused by what she was hearing. The one thing I do want to say is I don't think she heard the words, I'm Arab. I don't think I didn't hear this woman clearly say that. Maybe I'm like misunderstanding. But yeah, even from an optics perspective, if you're assuming good intentions, which I think is okay, it's probably just not a road that you should go down in this specific way. As far as people saying that this lady shouldn't have done the noise during the concert, I don't know if I would say that. I think it was just an awkward moment, like a lull in the crowd noise. And any of the right-wing bigots who are co-opting it to be like, that's what we've been saying, you know, using it as an excuse to be Islamophobic or xenophobic. Like, I can't say what I actually want to about these people without getting banned from this website, but like, please eat shit. I'll just leave it there. Please eat shit. And over the past couple of days from when this incident initially happened, I do think it has slowly been creeping up into this discourse where people are being a bit overly harsh and critiquing the initial noise that this woman made because they want an excuse to double down on like the, oh my god, everyone is so sensitive, the world doesn't have to cater to your culture argument, which is like not what this is about at all. It's like one of those couch coward opinions that these people have to sneak in here where they're like using a very specific situation to leverage a talking point that they otherwise would not say out loud, which is, I am mad that people of color are offended by a specific thing. Which brings me to my next point. I think there is a difference between people who are offended by this and agree that she could have handled it better and people who are leveraging it for meaningless Stan war nonsense. I'm specifically talking about those accounts that are going out of their way to slander her as racist, but they're white Taylor Swift fans who didn't know what a sakruta even was before this moment, you know what I mean? And like that celebrity is interchangeable. They could be Olivia Rodrigo fans, it's whoever. It's the same group that I'm talking about every time I'm talking about annoying Twitter stans. Ultimately, I thought her apology was fine, but also I recognize that it is not my apology to accept, and I'm open to understanding that perspective. If you were on my stream a few nights ago, I was encouraging people to play devil's advocate with me about this, even though I didn't agree. And I do think it's frustrating that women in the spotlight are often held to a much higher standard than men who often get away with way worse. I feel like every time these big monoculture events come around, the discourse around them just tends to reinforce the extent to which we are all living in a fractured reality. Even if Sabrina's mistake was an honest one, the cultural ramifications of it and the fact that the mistake can be co-opted by the worst people alive means that there was arguably no room for that mistake to be made at all. And that makes me question what the road to genuine accountability is if a celebrity slips up or makes a mistake. It also makes me think about how social media basically encourages spectators to give their takes and make snap judgments so quickly based on what they're seeing and hearing, when there could often be more to the story. This moment looks worse if you haven't seen Sabrina's explanation or you think she's lying to save face. This moment looks inconsequential if you don't take into account the fact that a bit of ignorance on Sabrina's part can be co-opted to do genuine harm. And to tie it back to the Justin Bieber situation, there's a gendered aspect to all of this as well. His performance seems fine if you don't compare it to what female performers are expected to go through to receive the same praise, but pointing out that at Coachella of all places also inherently devalues the art of all of the performers. It makes it feel transactional, like you're not attending a concert, you're going to Disneyland. And of course, there's the idea that female artists also get held to a higher standard when it comes to not only the product that they're putting on stage, but also their politics and how they carry themselves when they interact with the world. But is the high standard actually the problem, or is it the fact that men in the same arena don't get held to that standard at all? Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I have an announcement. I have a new side channel, side project called Kayla Reads. I am reviewing what I'm reading. I'm going to be posting some video essays that are strictly book talk and booktube based. So I have one review up there right now, and then over the weekend I'm going to be posting another one. It's just a little side project for something that I'm passionate about, so if you are into books and reading and you want to hear my thoughts on some stuff in that world, definitely go subscribe.
Kayla Reads.
Kayla Reads. Check it out. New channel.
This is supposed to be a book.
You did a great job.
Thanks. Fuck you. Fuck you.